we can judge something based on how it looks instead of how it is,
course.
right? And Chris and I, both, we might look like we belong together physically. And the truth is, he and I co-parent Liz better than any two people that I know. Like, he and I are so good at co-parenting, but also a lot of it is knowing what relationship you're meant to have with that person. Does that make sense? Like, he and
That's
I
it. Yeah.
and he would agree. It wasn't like it wasn't like, oh, he broke my heart and we knew marriage was not for us. I don't know. I think he said he'll never get married again. I don't know that I'll ever get married again. I really don't.
Right.
But he's definitely more of a, he is here on this earth for a purpose, and the purpose is to change the world. And he's been like this since I met him. He has a mission, and his mission is that, but also his kids, right? And so marriage, I don't think is ever going to be in the cards for him, because it just doesn't make sense. And I am someone who, I love connection, I love relationship, and so it wasn't a good match in that way. But
who initiated that conversation between you and Chris?
Well, okay. So he's told this publicly, so I'll tell it. It's not, Chris actually never wanted to get married. And I have done, I mean, I'm a different person now than I was when I married him. Like, I had a pretty stunted emotional and mental process growing up because of just the way that my dad was and our household was, and religion. And so I have been on hyperspeed. Like, I've evolved as a new person every 5 years, maybe even less. But I was a very timid, shy girl when Chris and I met, and I wanted his love so bad. I would have taken anyone's love. And I'm so lucky. I tell Chris this all the time. Like, I am so lucky I found you, because I was a really insecure, didn't know who I was, kind of a human at that point. And I am lucky, like, that your love was the love that I worked for, and that together we built these amazing things because of it. And because of his example of dreaming and creating and not taking himself so seriously and being careless on camera, like, I learned how to be the best version of me, you know? Yeah. So he did not want to get married. However, he has always known he wanted kids. And I was like, you're going to have to marry me if you want kids. I'm like, great, I'll get the guy to marry. Because I thought I could make him a hopeless romantic like me. Like, maybe if I just show him. But it's just, like, he and I, it was kind of like putting a, what do they say? Putting a square peg in a round hole. No, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Square peg in a round hole is what it was for us to be married.
Right.
But alleviating. So he and I both knew. We did therapy for 3 years every week. We would even fly to a therapist in LA for it. Not trying to fix it, but we did it trying to figure out what the best path was. Because I was terrified of being twice divorced. I was terrified of my 2 kids with him going through what my 2 kids went through with my last divorce. Right. And so it was really like, hey, is it better for them to sit inside of something that is not good? Because you can have 2 really great people, because we both are great people. Yeah. And you can be in a situation that is not good and create toxicity. Like, 2 wonderful hearted people can actually have a toxic home life.
Absolutely.
And the cameras don't always catch it, right? Like,
right. And it sounds like a big part of it was that your emotional needs probably weren't being met because of the differences in your guys's, the way you show up in that way. And it sounds like he was really focused on his goals, changing the world, and you really crave connection. And I talk about that all the time, when our emotional needs, when our deepest needs, right, aren't being met, we show up as the worst versions of ourselves, no matter how great of people we are. And so it sounds like that was kind of, you knew it was, I've put on Instagram before, like, the wrong environment will always make us feel like there's something wrong with us. Thank you all for hanging out with me today on Relatable Relationships Unfiltered. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and find me on Instagram at Dr. Elizabeth Fedrick.